Hi, what's up, Internet? My name is Matt, and this is the Year of the Kilt, and let's just jump right into it. This is Friday. I missed a video because Thursday, because for whatever reason, I'm having a hard time motivating myself to get into the studio. So here we are. Welcome to my house again. The other day, I was getting dressed in one of my kilts, and I've purchased two kilts from Scotland, and they came from ostensibly different companies. And I didn't really notice this at first, but it appears that they may be made by the same company. And so I wanted to put this out on the internet for you people to figure out and maybe help me see if we can find where they really come from. So here is one kilt, and it is from Heritage of Scotland. And you'll see it has the kilt and then the care information, right? So that's one kilt. This one has been through the wash, so the leather is starting to fray a little, which is interesting, because it says you're supposed to be able to wash it, whatever that means. Anyway, and then here is another kilt, which has what appears to me to be the same tag and or care information. There's one. There's two. And I bought this from a totally different company at a very different price. It has not been through the wash yet, but I'll bet you that when I do, the leather will start to fray on this bad boy too. So I'm just a little confused. If these companies in Scotland are buying these casual kilts from a third company and then marking them up and selling them to us, I want to get in touch with that company that really makes them and buy them from that company. And if they just happen to buy the kilt tag from the same people, that's cool too. Just something curious and a little bit weird that I noticed while I was getting dressed one morning. Not a whole lot going on in kilted life for me this week. It's been kind of more of the same, kilt every day. People in my small town are starting to get it, and the word is spreading around, and I've been known as the kilt guy for a while. There are only a couple of us in town that wear kilts with any regularity, and people are starting to be like, "Oh yeah, I heard you were doing that for the whole year. How's that going? You cold yet?" Which is cool. I mean, whatever. It's better than them asking about my underwear or anything else, really. I was going to make up some business cards so I could hey, I'm Matt, it's the Year of the Kilt, check out my website, whatever. But I haven't gotten around to that yet, so maybe we'll do that later. The other thing I wanted to talk about today is the stigma, the belief, the stereotype, excuse me, that a guy in a kilt is carrying multiple knives. And I have no idea where this came from. I just, every time some dude walks up to me and is like, "Hey man, I see a nice kilt, you got any knives?" And I'm like, yeah. Maybe I'm just helping to perpetuate that stereotype, and for no other reason than that's why it exists. I don't know. But I was just going to point out that some of the knives that I carry, because I do carry multiple knives, I do work in an environment where I get to use knives as tools. I'm not in it to kill people or whatever. So anyway, so let's look at some knives. So here's a small collection I've got laid out here. These are the two knives I never leave the house without. The one here is a neck knife. It's the Minimalist. I think it's by CRKT. And nice little knife, very sharp. I don't use it very often. It just lives underneath my shirt, whatever. It's really lightweight. I barely notice it's there anymore. I don't think it came with a paracord thing, so I put that on there, and because I'm a freak about paracord. And then, of course, the trusty Leatherman. I've had that since I was 12 or something, and I never leave the house without it. So those two are good. Small, simple, you can go pretty much anywhere with them. In Arizona, I am licensed to carry a concealed weapon, and typically carry several. So those are good. There's two knives. This is a little bigger. That's a K-bar. It's shorter than the full size. This is, I think, a 5-inch blade, which honestly is a little big. I don't ever need a knife that big, and sometimes it feels like it's just like too unwieldy. But when I'm feeling, a little extra gangster or whatever, I'll carry that. It's also a visual deterrent to people. It's like, oh, he's kind of skirt. Maybe I'll fuck with him. And then they see a big fucking knife on your hip, and they're like, oh, maybe I won't. This is the knife you guys have already seen before. I carry this one in my boot. It's a little folder by H&K. Great little knife. I almost never use it. Once in a while I take it out of the boot just to exercise it, because otherwise the spring and stuff gets all messed up and full of gross stuff. But there's little H&K. And I think I did a post about that, or at least did a link to it, maybe somewhere in the past. I'll look. If not, I'll put it in the description. And then this is a little Remington or something. Yeah, Remington. Not very fancy. It's maybe a little more fancy than the K-bar in terms of where you could get away with carrying it and having it look good. It's certainly smaller. It's sharper. It holds an edge really well, and I got it for like 12 bucks at my local Big Five sporting goods store like 2 years ago. It is, as with many cheap knives, it's kind of starting to fall apart. You can see there's a little divot here where there used to be some sort of logo or patch or whatever. But I'm a huge fan of the fixed blade knives because they won't fold or unfold on you when you do or do not, at a time when you don't want them to do one of those things. So fixed blade knives are really easy, and I carry them, in the same place on one side of my person over, whatever, and they work great. So I'd be curious to learn from you kilted people. Are you knife carrying persons? Do you know any idea where that knife stereotype thing came from? And also, what's with these kilt companies selling possibly the same kilts that they're buying from someone else? Or is it all one company? Or I don't really know what's going on, but I'd love to learn more. And that's going to be it for this week. I will see you guys next week. Sorry for the late video. My name is Matt, and this is the Year of the Kilt. See ya.